America is no longer a serious country. And that hurts me because I'm an American. And it is sad for me to see this. The first thing people need to understand about what's going on in Los Angeles. Los Angeles has 3 tiers of policing that exist. The LAPD, the California Highway Patrol, and the LA County Sheriff's Office. That should be more than enough to quell this violence that's taking place. And be real clear about the fact that if this was happening in Des Moines, Iowa, Trump wouldn't have sent a barber to quell the violence. This is happening because it's LA and because his base hates LA. It hates everything that LA stands for. LA has a huge Mexican population. As far as his base is concerned, all of them are illegal and need to be deported. And that's what Trump is playing to. He's playing to a very base fear among the people that support him the most. And it is also deflecting from when was the last time you heard anybody talk about the American economy under Trump? You see, it's not just about what's going on in L.A., which is a reaction whether you like it or not. I mean, I'm not any law and order guy, and I'm not a violent in the streets guy, even though when I was a very, very young man, I was in the streets in New York. But the bottom line is this is a windfall for him. This is something that fell into his lap. Violence in Los Angeles. Call out the National Guard. Make myself, when I'm just speaking of Trump, look like a hero.
To the people who think that all of the Latinos or anybody Mexican, anybody with a sort of suntan is an illegal immigrant and needs to be deported.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I used to do this for a living. All right. I used to do what you do now for a living. I used to talk to people.
I know you did. For people unaware of that, you were on Air America Radio, worked on Morning Sedition with Mark Maron, New York City. You've done it all, Mark. That's why I was so impressed, if that's not a slightly wrong word to use, for someone 20 years younger than you to use, when you came on last time. And we did our homework. You know what you are talking about. Quite how I think you ended up in Brighton for reasons of love and romance, which adds an extra dimension to your story. But you
32 years worth.
There you go. There you go. But you do what I tried to do. You've written the manual on it, trying to work out what he is doing. So he wants more. He wants more violence. He wants escalation.
He wants more violence. And James, let me just say this as an aside.
Yeah.
Because New York City lost one of the finest journalists who ever lived, and a guy named Tom Robbins, who passed away, I think, 2 weeks ago now. It was Tom Robbins, and I'm going to tie this into Trump. It was Tom Robbins who exposed the fact that Trump was using illegal Polish migrants to help build Trump Tower. He broke that story. You see? And
so it's nothing to do with country of origin or a sincere and authentic fear of migrant labour on Trump's part. It's all about what messages, these images, because it's a television story, isn't it? Not a radio story. You can't do flames on the radio. It's the images that will be watched by people in Des Moines, Iowa.
Yes, absolutely. And remember this, he's plucked people from television, including that complete moron, Pete Hegseth.
Yes.
But he was on Fox and Friends, for God's sake. Janine Pirro had her own TV show. He's plucking. Linda McMahon used to be chair of the World Wrestling Entertainment. That's the caliber of people he's brought into his administration. That's not serious.
I'm from California.
Yes.
I was born and raised in Fresno, California, which is the heart of the Central Valley, which we have a huge Mexican population. And they are the backbone, the Mexicans of California. People don't realize that, 1/4 of our population are Mexican. And we live in I think our state is unique in that it is a microcosm of America. We have every nationality, when you saw the people peacefully protesting before the military came in, you saw flags from all over the world. And that is what California is. And this is not, this is absolutely the dehumanization of what he calls illegal immigrants. Most of these people that have been captured by ICE are, yes, they are undocumented. They pay taxes to the American government, $22 billion a year, which the red people don't even know they do that, and they've lived peacefully there. And all of a sudden, they are now criminals. These people are not criminals. I don't want drug dealers in the United States. I don't want people that are being mass murderers. But the thing is, they can't find those people, so they go over after the easy targets in schools, churches, hospitals. They're going over easy targets. People that have had to now give their details. The U.S. government has their details because they pay taxes.
And some of them, of course, are in the process of going through the legal system, which is where they're getting collared by ICE at the facilities where the applications and situations are being processed. But the American equivalent of people who send me messages about them all being criminals, or they're all like, as you say, dehumanizing, using illegal as a noun as opposed to an adjective. It works. And I don't know that Los Angeles, or rather California, is a microcosm of the United States of America.
No, it is because don't forget. I was from Fresno.
Sure.
I live in a very, very Republican area of California. Everybody thinks California is blue,
sure,
but it is very, very red.
But is that's traditional Republican, or is that Trumpish Republican?
No, it's half and half.
Okay.
It's more Trump. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, we have people from Laos, we have the Hmong, we have people from all over the Japanese, a huge Chinese population in San Francisco. We do have a lot of people from different. But what I really wanted to say is that Gavin Newsom is now going to sue President Trump because he did not have permission to come into California. Gavin Newsom did not give him permission to bring in. So that is that, and now I heard Gavin Newsom on a telecast today and said, we are going to have a lawsuit against the U.S. government.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that was actually, he was just in the news today, was from last night, and he was asked, he said, because I was never asked permission.
Good Lord. So, I mean, and Trump will know this, or at least people like Stephen Miller will know it.
But he doesn't care.
Well, but they will. I mean, that's where the question that this morning's show hinges, isn't it? Is what does he want from this?
But he doesn't. He hates Gavin Newsom because he knows that Gavin Newsom is positioning himself to become to run in 2028, and he hates our state. If you notice, in the red states like Alabama, Tennessee, places like that, they are not rounding up immigrants.
No.
And they are not taking the huge farms that are agricultural farms down there. They are not actually going in to the red states. It is the blue states. It's Massachusetts. It's us. It's Illinois. It's people that he does not like.
Is it? I mean, there's a refrain that emerged on this program in the aftermath of Brexit, and it's become a bit of a mantra, really. I don't mean you.
No.
So when you find a Trump fan who is absolutely adamant that immigrants need to be removed and deported, and you point out to him that he's got some in his family, or that his children are looked after by some, or that he wouldn't be able to drink his orange juice if that was done, and then he would say, "Oh, I don't mean those ones. I mean the ones that Donald Trump has conjured up in my imagination. I mean the ones that are eating the cats and eating the dogs, the ones that are all members of street gangs." And that's why I think I really focused when you said they can't find them.
No,
they can't. The emblems of threat are not non-existent, obviously, but they're so negligible in the great scheme of things that you create an emblem of threat and then you start deporting completely innocent people to feed the appetite that you have very carefully cultivated.
Well, yes, and we saw. Do you know how many times I've been here 41 years? I have been told I'm the right sort of immigrant.
Yeah.
Because I'm white and I'm from California and I'm educated. They said you're the type of people, and I find that insulting. Because my daughter-in-law is from Lithuania. I'm very pro-Remain. I literally love.
Well, I think you've just lost your welcome there. I mean, you're definitely not the kind of immigrant we want if you're pro-Remain. Do you not follow the news, honestly? But no, I understand exactly.
I'm obviously very. I mean, they voted to Remain. I was not. I think the reform. I see in the Reform Party many things I see in Trump's America, and that frightens me. And my own daughter-in-law said the other day, she said, my son and her may not be able to stay here if reform should get in. She says, I won't feel welcome. And I think that's a really sad commentary.
And it is another reflection of something I said earlier about us maybe being in a slightly better place at the moment, but that being far from a permanent state of affairs.
Yeah, James, I just really want to say that it's sad to see here in America the fall of democracy. It would seem so quickly, but
you'd go that far.
First 4 years were a test.
Yeah. Okay.
I 100% agree. I think it is the fall of democracy. Maybe not in the form of we don't have voting and stuff of that nature, but I feel like the reality of what people believe is democracy is falling in front of our eyes.
What does he want then? What is his plan? I mean, I think we just pinned down something quite important with regard to the rule of law. He doesn't think that he should be prevented by anybody or anything from doing anything that he wants. In terms of how that dream is fulfilled by what we're seeing now, he brings enough of the population with him to the idea that he can do whatever he wants to protect them against this manufactured, exaggerated, confected threat. I don't know that bit of the jigsaw. Do you?
I see it as a ploy for him to gain more control over his base, because they might be questioning their Republican belief of small government and a economy that can work for them. They should be able to make money and spend it and live a life that they see as what a Republican belief can give them. And Trump's not bringing that anymore. And he's pushing for, full control. He wants power.
So he has to move quite fast, because the economic lies are being found out in real time, and they're unfolding in front. And people will notice this, whether it's something as outwardly trivial as the price of eggs or whether it's international trade figures. People will notice that he's not delivering any of the things he promised to deliver, so he needs to make another promise. And to make a promise of protection, he needs a threat. And despite the fact that no one in California has asked him to send in the National Guard, and the LAPD are already behaving in ways that are quite alien to UK observers, that is because he's lying about Gavin Newsom doing nothing, and that's why he then has to do this thing. It's very ugly. It's very, very ugly. How do you think it's going to end?
I didn't think he was going to get voted again. I think, to be honest, the fascistic belief of the majority is the minority is for the people that are feeling this the most. I mean, I thought I was the majority. I thought I was level-headed. I thought I could tell my parents to not vote for Trump, and they would understand, because their daughter is married to an immigrant. Their grandchild is of immigrant descent, and his grandparents on the other side are considered illegal immigrants, but they've been here for 40 years. Wow. And yet they still voted. And I after the first 4 years of having great arguments with my dad, I had to put it to the back burner, because I thought my relationship with my parents was more than politics. And
of course,
to be truthful, this is hard, because this is, what future do we have with what we see now? The Republican Party is so far right. The Democratic Party is kind of like, I don't know what party
they're nowhere
in England, but it's like, exactly. I mean, they're like what is it? It's not the Tories, but the Labour. Labour's really nowhere to be seen on your guys' side of the pond. But I mean, we only have
the difference being Labour is in power, so we're in a slightly better position at the moment than you are. But that may well be a holding pattern. Final question: does anyone step down? I don't want you to talk necessarily about your parents, because I fully understand the emotional business going on there. But do these scenes make people step down? Do these scenes say, "Hang on a minute,
No.
I didn't sign up for this"?
No, this just pushes the people further. Whoa. Unfortunately, it's gonna. The people who already voted for Trump already realized that they were voting for something that even they can't see what comes next. But they're also voted for, to be truthful, a sad belief that the white American people are getting pushed out. Yeah, they're getting left behind, and it's a false narrative.
Well, it's true in the sense that the distribution of wealth is obscene, but it's the people who were sitting behind Donald Trump at his inauguration who are most responsible for that. It's not your niece or nephew's grandparents, and that's another area of ignorance for many UK people. Idiot's Corner, not that busy today, but someone's just said, imagine someone broke into your house and you would want them to be removed. No, you fail to understand the kind of people that Trump is now targeting. Imagine someone broke into your house and looked after it for you for 40 years, mowed the lawns, polished the floors, did the furniture, maybe even kind of fixed your car. Imagine. So it's a stupid argument, this, but of course it's also very effective and very powerful, which is why the most depressing thing Max said is that scenes like this, scenes that you would once have associated with authoritarian dictatorship, are unfolding on the streets of what is still a democracy, and the people who voted for it will not be perturbed. Doesn't mean he's right, he's just one man.
Personally, I'm from the United States. I've been in Ireland for now 20 years. I have a 18-year-old son.
Gosh.
And I'm love that I escaped the ridiculousness of that country. And I love my family, but at the same time, I had to leave them there as well.
Yeah.
And be quite candid, between COVID, the politics, and even pre-Trump, and I'm not talking about all of the mess. I'm just talking about the way the world seemed to go. But as far as her question, your producer asked me, what does Trump want?
Yeah.
He wants a white America, dude. He wants a 1971 television show with Gilligan and the Skipper and Marianne, and he wants the good black friend, and he wants Chico and the Man, and he wants a quieted down immigration system where everybody's watching TV. This man never read a book. He watched television, and he ate fried chicken, and he looked at Colonel Sanders. He's an idiot. And it's interesting that you guys seem to give him credit for thinking so much. He does not think. He's a salesman and a manipulator. And let's be honest, he's in the field of television. So look what he's already done.
Yeah.
And he's already manipulated this Abrego to be a criminal in his own country now. So when he does get back, they're going to demonize him even worse. I'm so glad that I escaped that country.